Hi everyone, it's Nicole Spohr for Spellbinders, and today I'm so excited to be sharing this all die cut card with stacked die cut sentiments using the December 2019 Small Die of the Month Club Kit dies, and it is a set full of sentiments, fantastic sentiments that you can mix and match and use for all of your cards. I love card kits like this, or pardon me, kits like this that can be used for a multitude of things. And this is a fantastic one because they just can be mixed and matched for all kinds of different occasions and holidays and all of the things. Today I'm going to be creating this Thinking of You card, and I did all of my die cutting off camera to save some time because it is an all die cut card. The fox and the flowers are actually from the December card kit of the month, which I love that you can mix and match. If you get more than just the small die of the month or large die of the month or whatever it might be, maybe you get the card kit too, which I absolutely love. And that video is coming. I know it's a little bit late this month, but it is on its way. This is a great way to mix and match those components. And I am using the fox and the flowers with the Thinking of You sentiment against a embossed background. This is actually a super simple design. It's a lot of die cutting, but this card came together really, really fast. So the embossed background is an Fun Stampers Journey barn wall embossing folder. And I did die cut this from Fun Stampers Journey Oatmeal Cookie cardstock, which is a great craft cardstock. I wanted something that was just a nice basic. Then we have die cut the fox components from Fun Stampers Journey Buttercream, Dark Roast, and Pumpkin Bread cardstock. I know I've mentioned this many times, but if you are new here, I would like to mention it again. Fun Stampers Journey is part of the Spellbinders family, and they have fantastic cardstock in a wide array of colors, like every color of the rainbow. I very much love their cardstock. If you are watching one of my Spellbinders videos, that is the cardstock I'm using. I highly, highly recommend it. It die cuts beautifully, and again, it's available in so many fantastic colors. Now, I wanted my Thinking of You sentiment to really be prominent, and so you can see that I am using some Ranger Multi-Matte Medium and a fine tip applicator, which makes a world of difference in a card like this, where I am stacking small die cuts together, and I am stacking 3 die cuts one on top of another to give some, just a little bit more presence and a little bit more stability to our die cut sentiment. That is the focal point of the card. I want it to be popped up, popped out, and really be visible. So I'm stacking these one on top of another. Another thing I did was I die cut each word from a different color of cardstock to make it easier to read. I thought if I put Thinking of You all the way across on a portrait style card, they would run together a little bit and be kind of hard to read. Plus, this allows me to implement 3 different colors. I pulled those colors from the colors of flowers I die cut that I'm going to be adding to all of these little stems and things that I'm adding next to my fox. The colors of cardstock I'm using for this sentiment and the flowers are Cranberry Bliss, Watermelon Fusion, and Bubblegum. Again, super fun names. Fun Stampers Journey has some incredible names for their cardstocks. I think they're really, really fun. All of the greenery is Fun Stampers Journey Green Olive. If you are looking for what cardstock I used, please be sure to scroll down in the information below the video here on YouTube, or click on over to my blog post. I will have links to all of the products I used there, so you can always find that information if you are looking for it. I am then using my liquid glue to glue everything in place, kind of just building upon the base that I have here and working slowly. I want to make sure that I get all those little sprigs, all those little stems laid down first before I glue the Thinking of You down right underneath. And there I'm just going to use my Tool-in-One from Spellbinders to give a little shape to my flowers. That's a really fun little tip that helps give the flowers that little bit of dimension if you're using a stylus tip there. I'm using kind of a small one. I think that's the one that was on my Tool-in-One. There's bigger ones, and normally the bigger one works just a little bit better, I think, but depending on the flower size, it really doesn't matter. I'm also using a crystal katana to easily pick up any little pieces like the eyes, the nose, and pop those down in place. And I've got lots of little flowers here to just tie it all together. I'm a huge fan of die cut scenes. I love die cut scene cards. You're going to see a lot of die cut scene cards that I've done on my blog. You're going to see a lot in the future. They are just one of my very favorite kind of cards to create. And I love these little critters. I think the Spellbinders dies are just getting better and better. I'm such a fan of little animals and all of the fun little things you can do with them. And I have big plans for using this cute little guy in some additional cards later on. Let's go ahead and add the word you, stack those one on top of another. If you see that acrylic block in the background, I like to put something heavy, like an acrylic block, on top of anything that I am gluing with liquid adhesive to my card. It helps hold everything flat while the liquid glue is drying. So a lot of times if you are seeing that in a video, that's what I'm using that for. I actually didn't use it to stamp anything or anything like that, but it does really help to hold things flat and keep things nice while that liquid glue is drying. So liquid glue can kind of sometimes make the paper curl up a little bit, and this just kind of helps hold it all down, and then everything is nice and secure on the card. We're going to add a few additional flowers here. Now with this flower die, you can actually use a little circle shape to embellish the center of the flowers if you want to. It comes in the dies. You can kind of see there to the left on the screen. I know my hand is in the way a lot. That die cuts the flowers, the stems, leaves, and the flower center. I opted to actually not do a flower center, and I'm going to use gemstones instead for a little touch of sparkle. You could also use Nuvo crystal drops, sequins, pearls, anything like that to embellish the center of your flowers if you like. Or you can die cut that flower center and pop that in with cardstock. So lots of options for that. Now to round out my card design, again, there's little individual leaves. So I'm going to tuck some of these into my greenery around the card. And then I want to add a little stamped phrase. I love the addition of a small little stamped phrase with a script style die cut sentiment. One of my very favorite looks. If you look through my cards, you will notice that. I do that kind of technique a lot. So this time, in addition to the Thinking of You sentiment, we're going to take a sentiment from the Simon Says stamp Healing Hugs stamp set that reads, "Relax, get some rest, take care of you." We're going to stamp that with the Stamp Market Cherry Kisses ink on some smooth white cardstock. We're going to just trim that into a little rectangle with our paper trimmer, and then we're going to glue that right to the background of our card, tucking the edge underneath some of the loops in the words "Thinking of You." And that just ties it all together. You don't have to do that, but I really love the look. I just feel like it ties it together and it isn't floating out there in outer space quite so much if you tuck it a little bit closer. I don't want the loops to cover up the text, but if they are swooping down over part of that open white space, I just like how that looks. We're ready for finishing touches. That's going to be the gemstones in the center of our flowers. Those are going to be from Pretty Pink Posh. These are going to just be some blush pink gems, and I'm going to use the blush pink on all the flowers. I didn't switch it up. We're also going to use some Honeybee Stamps Candy Heart Kisses. These are the light pink color. I felt like pink really tied in nicely to this card, and we're going to have a little scattering of those. That's going to give height up above the card and then just one down below the stamped sentiment. And we're going to add eyelashes to our fox with a fine tip black pen, highlights to the eyes and the nose, and then even some other areas throughout the fox and greenery with a white pen. So just adding little highlight areas. This, again, a very simple card for the most part. It's just assembly. And when I'm creating a card like this, I like to die cut the components all at once and then go ahead and do the creation part. Aren't those gems pretty in the flower center and add such a fantastic little decorative touch? So here's that white pin detail that I'm adding to the fox. She's so cute. And by adding eyelashes, I call her a she because we added some little eyelashes, but you definitely don't have to do that if you don't want to. Just a fun thing I like to do to faces to really make the face a prominent feature on a card. And we're going to add a few more of these. I've added some to the greenery on my card. And then we'll grab those hearts and finish off with a scattering of those little hearts. Now there is also a crown as part of the card kit of the month that goes with the fox. I opted not to use that little gold crown for this card. Just wasn't really working for what I wanted this one to say. So stay tuned for my card kit video. I will be using it there, and you can kind of see just some different ideas of how to use this particular die set with that. I'm gluing those little candy heart kisses in place, a little trio up above that gives some nice height to the design, and one down below. We'll glue this panel to a white top fold card base, and our Thinking of You card featuring the December 2019 Spellbinder Small Die of the Month Club Kit is all finished. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this Thinking of You die cut card. The supplies I used to create my card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Spellbinders Club Kits that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making or paper crafting video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.